people of the nation of Israel. So without further ado, as always, in Allah Shwan Kadash, being the holy tongue, is in the Paleo Hebrew, meaning the ancient Hebrew. I'm going to give all praises, glory, infinite honor to my power, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom is the God of the living, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Baruch. You know, on this whole Charlie Kirk's assassination situation that has further produced and intensified, you know, racial tension, okay? And, you know, mainly triggering, you know, the hatred of these Edomites. The hatred these Edomites naturally have for Jake that has been triggered through the left-wing, right-wing paradigm. Okay, being that, you know, the so-called Negroes specifically were to be categorized, within the left-wing side of politics. You know, as Lyndon B. Johnson, the president, Lyndon B. Johnson said some years ago, all right, I have these niggers voting Democrat. See, it was all, that further confirms, it was all a plot. It was all a nefarious plot for this devil, Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, being a man of sin, the son of perdition, okay, to keep that negative stigma on us by further associating us with, radical ideologies, you know, more so associated with the left-wing side of politics, such as the whole LGBTQ community, Antifa / Black Lives Matter, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. All right. So when incidents happens to people that supports right-wing ideologies, it's easy for Esau to justify blaming on the left, which in essence is by default blaming it on so-called Negroes specifically, and any of the northern tribes that stand with the Southern Kingdom, or you know that support, you know, the left-wing ideology. But it's all another political ploy or plot, you know, for this devil to justify, you know, demonizing the tribes, man, mainly Judah. So as you can see here, you know, Charlie Kirk in his own words says prowling blacks and the great replacement strategy. All right, they're not intelligent enough for this particular position. So there's other comments that he made, or remarks, that supports the right-wing ideology. Okay, they've been given to further justify their hatred for Jake. So it says, he went on to say, if you're a WNBA pot-smoking black lesbian, do you get treated better than a United States Marine? And back in May 19, 2023, you see that? So, you know, this guy, like it says in the Proverbs, man, so many words. I'm driving right now, you know what I'm saying? And I can't get it right now. But in 1 second, toss out this incense. There's so many words. It says, a fool's lips is his destruction. So this guy really contributing to his own demise, man, through utilizing his tongue in a way that wasn't profitable for his well-being. Okay, because not like he was a prophet doing the Lord's work. You know what I'm saying? Feeding the sheep of Israel with his wisdom, knowledge, understanding. You know what I'm saying? Of from the heavens. It says in 1 Samuel 2 and 3, referring to the likes of wisdom that refers to the Heavenly Father. He was supporting madness. Okay, he was supporting, worldly wisdom, knowledge, understanding, which is sensual and devilish in the eyes of the Lord, pursuing the St. James 3 and 15 and so forth. All right, so that was pretty much a synopsis on his report, just to further explore this guy's mindset. Now he wasn't innocent, man. Okay, now granted, whoever did that, it seemed like whoever did that was a professional. Okay, but nonetheless, speaking of which, they're claiming they have their guy. Okay, this is the guy they're claiming, Tyler Robinson, age 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, is revealed as the suspect of, what's his name, Charlie Kirk's assassination. Okay, after his dad turned him in over sick plot messages found on behalf of Tyler Robinson. Now they're saying Tyler Robinson's dad was a former cop or something along those lines. All right, and this is like the second or third suspect they have. So who knows this actually guy? But Esau likes to throw up smoke screens. So, but nonetheless, if this is a guy, obviously he appears to be a so-called white man. So look at peep the irony there. The left wing is responsible for what happened to Kirk, in which we don't give a fuck about Esau's politics, but nonetheless, his satanic devices are satanic nonetheless, and they've proven to be a farce. They've proven to be nullified for the fact that. Let me pull this up here. Where was it? Edomite, most likely, claims black people are 30 times more dangerous than whites, sparking outrage. So this is the sentiment Esau's pushing. through the narratives of his propaganda that he's pushing through his Western media, okay, on the left-hand side. I mean, media is a witchcraft term. Media meaning originating back to the word medium, going into witchcraft. So that further confirms everyone associated with Esau's media, including these journalists and so forth, pushing his rhetoric, are witches, man. Witches and warlocks on the left-hand side. It's madness. Why? Because they're not holy anyway, man. A lot of them are so-called white supremacists, closet so-called white supremacists anyway. All right? So, using YouTube comment. That's all we need to read on that, man. Okay? All right? These devils are being triggered, just like when Trump got elected the first time, that triggered these Edomites. That's why a lot of Karens, that's why it's not a coincidence, a lot of Karens came forth after that. They, you know what I'm saying? They started manifesting out of nowhere like demons out of portals, man. Okay? Harassing Jake everywhere. Okay? Both kingdoms, so-called Negroes and indigenous. So now they're even much more triggered after what happened to one of the Evergreen High School shooter embraced Columbine, anti-Semitism, and white supremacy online. That's the main point there, white supremacy. We can clearly see here the true face of terror. Okay? Not a coincidence, them Edomites shot up the Columbine back in '99. Who is prevalent? Okay, whose culture is more so prevalent of terrorizing their respective societies? They compass about. There's Esau, man. Jake don't be shooting up random malls and shit. Okay, this is Esau, man. Okay, and this is why you devils being afraid to expose, because you live by the sword. All right, so which is graphic. I came across the actual video on Instagram, and that shit was graphic, man. You know, okay, what he did to that Ukrainian woman, shouting what's to come, and that's complete pandemonium and mayhem out here. Okay, this is St. Matthew 24. I'm run through this real quick. St. Matthew 24 and St. Matthew 24. Lord Yahweh Shemeshah says, I will stir up civil war in Egypt and turn brother against brother and neighbor against neighbor. Rival cities will fight each other and rival kings will struggle for power. And this is exactly what's happening in modern day Egypt, meaning the house of bondage, which is America. Hence the Egyptian symbolism on the back of Esau's currency pieces, such as the dollar bill. Okay, where they have New World Order in Latin on the back of that dollar bill. Okay, this is a major component of the New World Order. Okay, inciting martial law. Okay, so I'm gonna end off here because I got to get back on a slave ship. This is Jeremiah 30 and Yahweh by Hashem Yashai by Hashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishop of Great Millstone for teaching and ruling well. All right, shalom to Akim wa Akwat on the comment board. All right. And the water for all those who may end up tuning in. Yahweh by Hashem Yashai Thumb. All right. Well, I'm a walk level ball soon and very soon. And on to the next one.